Hey, good morning, everybody. I know you can hear me now because what I did was the mistake I made was I had to uninstall the camera and then reinstall it. So, welcome, everybody. I see that the um, NTZ is in the house. I want to play something for y'all. This is what I was going to play for y'all the other day. This is my new theme song, and it's catchy if you listen to it. I'll play it. Tell me if you hear it.
It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground.
Yeah, TJ. One of my subscribers made it for me, man. And it's catchy. I tell you, my girlfriend sings it all the time, but I just play it on my live stream to let y'all know. Hey, so Anthony Edwards, man, thank you for that, brother. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today, guys. One of my subscribers made a comment on a video the other day. He was talking about, it was a sad story. He said, he wanted to tell me and as well as my viewers about having an exit plan, he called it. He said his brother recently died over here May the 4th, and he's having the damnedest time getting his body home. And he wanted me to talk about it, so I said, okay, I'll do that. Hey, Simply Akash, yeah, that's my song. I'll play it one more time, guys, for y'all, because we'll let a few more people get on here. Tell me if y'all hear it. What's up, Sal?
It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground.
I thought it was nice of him to do it.
Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty.
I just do this for my live streams only.
Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground.
Yeah, I thought that was nice of him, man. I mean, I didn't even ask him. He said, man, I got a song I've been working on for you. You want to listen to it? I said, okay, send it to me. I like this. So I said, I'll use it on my live streams. I appreciate it, guys. Hey, John, Jacob, I see Cal Deadman's on here. Yeah, he said they're having the damnedest time getting his brother home. But then he said something that made me cringe because as an insurance agent, 18 years experience, man, he says, because he had no insurance. Look, guys, it's very, very important. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That we have some type of, not only do we have insurance, we have some type of funeral planning, health insurance, travel insurance, whatever it is that we need when we come over here, even for 2 weeks. And one guy reached out to me. Actually, his name was Michael Onstad. He's got 32 years in the insurance business. He lives in the Philippines, and he can help you, Michael Onstad. So if he comes on here, he'll give you his information. Hey, you dirty puppy, said play that funky music. Yeah. Hey, Harold Kemp. But also, I wanted to, before we get started on that, guys, I wanted to talk about, when you ever hear something about green tourism, when you ever hear something talking about the Philippines opening up, I want you to take something in consideration, all right? Especially now that they're using these hotels in these major cities and really all the cities for quarantine facilities. There's more OFWs than international visitors to the Philippines, okay? 2019, 8.2 million international visitors came to the Philippines, tourists. There's 11 million OFWs, and see, at any given time, their contracts are running out. They're coming home on vacation. They're coming home for numerous reasons. And now that they're using these hotels as quarantine facilities, they've maxed them out. And it was in the paper yesterday. So see, that's going to stop the Philippines from opening up right now, because if they come, where are you going to stay? See, but also in that article, it says some of the hotels are reserving only small amounts for these workers, because the OWWA, that's the Overseas Workers Welfare Association, they're behind on their bill. But that's just something you have to take in account, guys. And right now, they booked 100% these hotels. All right. Also, I wanted to warn you about a new scam. Hey, Michael Onstad, thank you for that super chat. He said you can find me on Facebook. Go ahead and put that information in the chat, Michael. He's got 32 years. He'll help you, man. And that's what we're trying to do. And I'm glad he reached out to me before yesterday. He saw the title of my video. And I appreciate you, Michael, for doing that, man, because a lot of questions people have to answer. See, I'm retired, man. I can help you. I can answer some questions, but he can actually help you. But there's a new scam before we get started on there, and I'm glad, Michael, you're with us today. The Bureau of Immigration is warning foreign travelers to the country about a Philippine-based company offering immigration assistance at the airport and charging exorbitant fees. They want you to realize that the Bureau doesn't collect immigration fees, and the process is so simple, I'm telling you, that a 10-year-old can do it. So if somebody approaches you at the airport and says, hey, I can help you get through immigration, this fixer type business, and they're charging some type of fee, don't fall for it, guys. First of all, if I were you, I'd do one or two things. I'd go ahead and, if you're going to go ahead and extend, you can extend that through the consulate in America. But I would just say the process is so simple. If you're going to be here over 30 days, just wait till about a week before your 30 days is up, and then go to the Bureau of Immigration Center that's in your area, man. It's real simple. You fill out a form telling them how, with your biographical information, sorry, same. And whether you want 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, are you here on business or pleasure? That's it. Hey, Maribel Channel, thanks for stopping by today. Frank Ellis is in the house. But yeah, let's talk about this exit plan, guys, because I remember, Sigmund Freud said this. He said, no one ever seriously thinks about their death. And to me, as an insurance agent, I'm going to tell you, many of us are in denial. We play this sort of game of denial, and it's always the other guy dying. But, man, you have to think, what's going to happen to you if you die over here in the Philippines? See, that's something you have to seriously contemplate. And the guy, his brother's not the first time. A couple of months ago, there was an older gentleman from my hometown who died, and his family was trying to get him back, man. They didn't have the money. It's going to cost you, man. The U.S. Embassy is not going to help you like that. Now, they'll contact your family to let them know, hey, you died. They might even help you get a proof, a certificate of death certificate, so you can forward it to the insurance company, get the money and bring them over. But more than likely, if you die over here on any foreign land, you don't have any insurance, it costs a lot of money to get you home. If you don't have it, they're probably just going to burn your ass up and toss your asses in the garbage, and I don't mean to sound raw about it, but that's what they're going to do. So what we need to do, guys, is take some type of responsibility, because your family's going to be tore up about you dying anyway. Then now all of a sudden they're going to need $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 to fly your body home. So let me remind you, a dead body, the plane ticket for a dead body is about 10 times as much as it costs for a live body. Now you figure that out, okay? But it is, man. And then let your family know, you want to have some control while you're living, but you can have some control after you die. How do you want me, what do you want me to do with my body? Do you want to be cremated? You want to be buried? What do you want? Magnolia State said, bury me or burn me where I drop. I'm no longer there. I don't care. Yeah, but your family cares, Magnolia State. See, that's the problem. Your girlfriend over here is going to care. Let me give you a story that happened about 2 years ago. Hey, LaVon White, thanks for that super chase. I can't wait to get my boots on the ground shirt. Thanks for the Michael Onstead contact. Yeah, he's good. 32 years. He can help you. But a young lady, and I talked about this on my video, Filipinos are widow makers. This guy come over here from America, gets married in his 2 weeks. They got married while he was here. They go back to the hotel to consummate the marriage. He has a heart attack and dies. Well, the young lady, she's no more than 20 or 21 years old. She wasn't even 21 at the time. She didn't know what to do. Okay, he didn't have no insurance or anything like that. So what she did, she went on social media, which is something you really don't want to do. She eventually got the help she needed, but they went ahead and cremated the guy. But it was so embarrassing for her. You can tell, as the Filipino, but she didn't have no choice. But we put them through stuff like that. She wasn't just going to let his body just rot there in the street. Because after some natural catastrophes here, sometimes, man, the body stack up so quickly they can't process them enough, and they do rot out in the streets. But they're not going to do you like that, man. James Lyon says, I want to be cremated so I don't need insurance. Well, it costs something. At least let your family know that, or whoever's going to be in charge of that. I mean, what, you think you're just going to disintegrate, James Lyons? No, they got to put your ass in a box and put you in an oven and cook your ass. Somebody's got to do that, and somebody's got to pay for it. Soul School Music Lover said, LOL on deceased costs more than living on the plane. Yeah, figure that out. Yeah, but it's true. It costs about $7,000 is the minimum I've ever heard. Cal Deadman says, I'm going to be cremated after I sit in my living room for a year. Yeah. But really, guys, we need to be serious about this. James Lyon, I'm just messing with you, man. You my partner. Hey, but really, guys, let's get serious about this. Even if you don't get life insurance, come over here and, okay, now we're going to have to start checking the box when you buy your ticket for that travel insurance. It's very, very important now with this COVID, because a lot of them now are going to cover COVID. You don't want to get sick over here with COVID or anywhere really, to be honest with you, because the costs are going to be just astronomical. So check that box now, pay that little extra, whatever it is, $30 or whatever it is. Magnolia State said the VA won't take you over there. Yeah, if you're a veteran, but let me remind you, Magnolia State, it's a very, the veterans that come over here make up a small amount. Now, the ones who live here, expats, they probably do make up a bigger percentage, but the people who actually visit over here, no, veterans are very small. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, they can take you and hold on, guys. Let me see if we need water. Hun, water or not? Yeah, but most of the people that come over here, they're not veterans. Hey, Rising Steve, he said, I subscribe to your channel. Thank you. Are you from the Philippines? Okay. You'll be entered today. I'll have my girlfriend put you in the spin wheel. Raheem Brown says, "See, old man, stop getting married to women that's your granddaughter's age." Well, come on, Raheem Brown. We can't control that. Yeah, what's wrong with that, Raheem Brown? He's either salty or troll or salty troll. That's what TJ Johnson said. Yeah, I don't get it. That's not the Raheem Brown I know. I think maybe they've stolen his profile, because he wouldn't say something like that, I'm sure. Hey, Cliff Peterson, thank you, brother, for stopping by. And Brian Nichols said, Raheem Brown, I don't even have a granddaughter. Wonders of Life said, just carry your own lighter fluid and matches and it's done. But how you going to do that after you're dead? See? Okay, Risen Steve said, I'm 10 years old. Well, you're still eligible. AC King says, when you're dead, wait, you are cargo, not a passion. That's why it costs so much. I know why it costs. I'm just, having fun, AC. Yeah, he died happy for sure. But she wasn't happy being left with that bill like that. I tell you what, it's a strain on the family, man. And, I used to go into people's houses and their mother wants to take out insurance. They'll leave. They say, "Are you putting bad luck on me?" No, you're going to die. I don't give a damn whether your mother takes insurance out on you or not. Hey, Kenneth Roundtree, yeah, you're going to die. Clayton Murray said, I could spend a long time thinking of the answer to that question, Calvin. Now, remember I gave y'all some good news about that NCR region, because I see TJ's going back and forth with somebody, but it is put in my mind. They plan on reaching this population protection that's 40 to 50% of that NCR region, which includes Manila, by November. I think if they do that, they're going to do something like Thailand is doing with Phuket. They'll probably let you come over there, but go nowhere else, I guess. But after a certain amount of days, if you come up with so many negative swab tests, you can go around the other parts of the Philippines. But I think they're going to do something like that. LeVon White says, Ingram Davis, after listening to Calvin, I'm decided to live forever. Boy, I tell you, that would be a good one. Hey, I want to tell y'all something, man, and before we get back to this insurance thing, because this insurance is very, very important, guys. Don't take that for granted. If you're just going to be here for 2 weeks, check that box for the travel insurance, because it includes emergency. That accident insurance includes coverage for emergencies. Now, you can't go get a checkup with it, but, COVID and different stuff like that. And Cathay Pacific is actually including COVID insurance in the cost of their ticket. But last night, man, about 7:45, and I'm going to talk a whole lot about this, but I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff that goes on, man. It really broke my heart. I get a call, because I'm getting ready to take my shower. I already finished eating, ready to take my shower, lay down and go on to bed. I get a call out of Clear Blue Sky. It's a guy on the other end, American guy. Hey, Sunshine, somebody told me to call you. I'm stranded over here in the Philippines. I can't get home. Blah, 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 and of course, I reached out to him. I said, look, man, you got a PayPal, you got a Cash App or something, man, so before I even got through hearing his speech, I sent him $100 on the strength, guys. I sent him $100 on the strength just because, hey, here's a guy, American, 8,000 miles away, but I should not have done that. So he wants me to bring it to my Sunshine Shoulders channel to help him get the money to go back home. So I said, okay, but I got to vet you first. And that's when it all went downhill, man. This guy, he's a scammer, American, along with his Filipino wife or girlfriend. Because all the correspondence I started getting from him, if you with a Filipino, how they do their English and stuff like that. Because when I went to his PayPal, I was like, man, you don't even have a picture on your PayPal. I said, if people are going to help you, they want to see who they're sending money to, because because I was going to have people send him the money, not me. She messages me back on my Sunshine Show's Facebook. I'll handle that. So now the red flags is going out, man. And then I said, do you have any friends or family at home can help you? Yeah, they're all on fixed incomes. I said, well, what about the guy you said that suggested you call me? Oh, he just got shot 9 times in a robbery attempt. He's waiting on a settlement. I'm like, really? See, that's when I said, okay, well, I'm sorry, guy. $100, that's all I can do, you know. And then I gave him the information to the American Citizen Services in the U.S. Embassy. I said, look, they can help you. They can give you. I said, because what did you do with your stimulus? I started vetting him. But every time I give him a question, like I said, well, what did you do with your 3 stimulus checks you got over here? Here's what he said. Are you getting ready for a big show in the morning? See, that's how I knew it was either, you know, his Filipino or this guy was a scammer, man. So it really hurts me because, man, what's going to happen? I'm not going to hesitate ever to help anybody, but I'm going to vet you guys. And so the next guy who comes through here looking for help, he's going to get vetted to the 9th degree. But I gave him 100 on the strength. So I put that on me, but I'm going to tell you something because, man, I felt this pain. But yeah, you got me, buddy, for $100, but that's all you're going to get. And the universal law is going to kick your behind. I promise you. It's going to cost you more than 100. Yeah, it's a damn shame. R68 DVR, you know, and they over here, them, you know, playing those games, man. Look, don't come over here unless you got some kind of money to get back home. You know, you run out of money. Don't take it out on us. And I'm an easy target because, you know, hey, what happened was I guarantee you the Filipino girlfriend then saw my channel because, you know, I do that spin wheel every Friday. Then I do the spin wheel here on Wednesday. My Facebook page is dedicated to helping Filipinos, and it's known all over the Philippines. She done saw that and said, yeah, we can get him. And yeah, they got me, man. You know, hey, Levon White, thanks for that super chat. He said, well, this super chat extend my lifespan. I'm trying to scam you for more years. Now, I tell you what, man, you drink some water. It will. Raheem Brown says, Al, can I have $100? No, man, it's not even funny. I'm pissed about it. You know, don't be over here with that foolishness, man. I promise you, man, don't do that. Somebody asked me, are they making Filipinos take the vaccine? No, but they're strongly suggesting it. They got a campaign over here like they do in America. They got celebrities, they got politicians, they got people who are the center of your influence, you know, saying, hey, take the vaccine, but no, they're not making you. Brian Nichols said, if you're doing dirt, it will come back to you. Yeah, and see, that's what I told him, man. You know, I said, you know, you just made it hard on somebody else, but I'm, you know, once I vet somebody, I help them because I've got a Sunshine Show's hotline. And that's who I thought he was calling me on, but he wasn't. He got that number from my Facebook page. See, and then he comes up with some guy's name. And I said, well, ask him. Can you ask him for help? I said, here's the first 100. He said, oh, he got shot 9 times in a robbery attempt. He's waiting on a settlement. Really? Come on, man. Hey, Monroe Smith is in the house. Welcome, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, but let me ask you a question, man. Do you have a will? Do you have a will? Do you have any funeral planning? What is your last will and testament? Do you have that? Or are you just going to leave it up to the state or to your family? A girly man said, I deleted my personal information off of Facebook. Yeah, and see, that's another thing, a girly man. Here's what he did. His Facebook was locked. Her Facebook was locked. You know, and I'm saying, what are y'all hiding? So I asked him, I said, what are you hiding? And he says, oh, people are chasing me. Absolutely, they're chasing you because you're scamming people. And I want some peace. Douglas Mack says, if a foreigner's dead body is cremated, what is done? I don't care about being returned to USA. Can a relative, Philippine wife, claim the ashes? Yes. And spread my ashes somewhere? Absolutely, if she's paying for it. Now, if they just do it over here, I don't know. I think they just leave you in the, I think they just leave you in the morgue. I don't think, because I'm going to tell you something. It costs money to cremate you, man. Believe it or not, Jeff Lay said my lifelong friend's dad died of cancer and a stroke. His death certificate said he dies of COVID after testing negative 3 times. That's just another story, man. I'm only getting that COVID, man, argument, guys. Come on. Let's don't bring that on here because you dirty puppy says no medical insurance will get you treated when you need it in the PR. Yes, it will. There's some medical policies. And if you're going to be an expat here after 59 days consecutive, just apply for the universal health care coverage, which is PhilHealth. But yeah, they've got policies over here that will cover you, you dirty puppy. But I'm saying, if you are even over here for 2 weeks, check that box for that accidental insurance or that travel insurance. But yeah, you dirty puppy, right? Cash is king. But yeah, Clayton Mary said, you have Sunshine Shoulders hotline. Commissioner Gordon has one to me. Yeah, I do. It's my number, and it's for expats over here who have fallen on hard times. If they need a place to stay for a day or two till they can catch their flight, they need something to eat. Even if they need a ticket back home, I'm going to use my platform for that, but not for you to scam me, man. Come on. Hey, thanks, TJ Johnson, for that super chat. He said, no sports, but when I die, I fly my body back to Oakland and have the A's and my exes be my pallbearer so they can let me down one last time. That's funny. Hey, TJ, I saw you in Texas Azore, man. You guys, y'all had a hell of a 4th of July, man. Y'all were eating real meat. And I'm glad, man, I was able to kind of play a part in y'all hooking up, man. Because Texas is always a real deal down there in DeVal, man. He's living like a king down there. Hey, JLM, thanks for the super chat. He says, I've started reading that book you recommended by Dennis Kimbrough, Intro in Chapter 1. All is mental in the mind to create whatever you want to experience, good or bad. Yeah, it's true, but that's not a secret. Everything you looking at started in somebody's mind first. You got to think it first, JLM. But we're not taught that in school. One thing we are taught in school, though, is creating goals, establishing goals. And see, no one knows how that works, but we know that people who have goals succeed a lot further than people who don't. We don't even know how that works. Hey, John Gomez, thanks for that super chat. He says, it's very important having a will. Trust me. It is, guys. I mean, nobody in my family had a will. So the little that was left, man, it went to hell, man. It went to the probate. And of course, by the time, believe it or not, man, I promise you, man, my mother worked her fingers to the bone for this little bitty house that she purchased in the West End, or West Louisville. My mother used to scrub floors. She did day work to buy this little house. And don't you know when she died, because she didn't have a will, after it was all over with, the lawyer and everything like that, her 7 remaining children, we each received $89 each from the sale of that house, man. It's shocking, man, because my mother did not have a will, guys. It's very, very important. Thank you, John Gomez, for bringing that up. It is, man. And if you don't have one, man, your family's going to pay the price. Yeah, you're going to be dead. TJ Johnson says, Sunshine Shoulders, you helping people help people, man. Bobby and I are having a blast. Can't wait to see you, man. Thank you, TJ. I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I'm thrilled, man, that I played a little small part and you guys hooking up, because that's what I want to do. Michael Onstead said, Field Health would only cover a fraction of bill. It will get you into the hospital, but it won't get you out. It's better than nothing. Now, I don't know if it's the same coverage that I have that my girlfriend has, but when we had our baby, it paid half the bill. It doesn't cover any outpatient care, because outpatient care here is very cheap and affordable. But I haven't used it yet. But for her, unless she has a different policy, it really helped her. But yeah, it's good to know. So Michael Onstead, you dirty puppy, said there's no policies over here. Give us some policies that will cover us in the Philippines. Can you do that? I appreciate it. Rudy A says, if you are booking your trip with a decent credit card, it usually has that emergency travel insurance already as part of it. So no need to double pay. Yeah. Good information, Rudy A. But make sure that you have it. We don't want to double pay, but make sure that it's going to cover it, and check with your credit card company. James Lyon says, yeah, but Calvin, what if you want to stick your family with the bill? Should you care? Oh, man, that's cold, James, because, people love us, man, whether we believe it or not. What's up, Robert Sanford? He said, what up, Uncle Calvin? How much you think it would cost to fly from where? You cut off right there, brother. Frank Ellis said Medicaid might be coming. Well, we can't. Might ain't going to get you looked at over here. Oh, from Manila to San Carlos, it'll be cheap, Robert Sanford. But you're not going to fly to San Carlos. You're probably going to fly either to Dumaguete or to Bacolod. Preferably Bacolod is cheaper. Depends on when you buy it, how far in advance you buy it, but I would say probably $75. Yeah, AC King, this is important. He said many families have lost their property because of a lack of a will or property settlement before death. No one pays the property tax, so it ends up in auction at the courthouse. It's very, very important, guys. I promise you. And, for the people who said, see, y'all don't understand. During the 80s, the insurance industry was rehauled. Congress passed a lot of laws to protect us against all that unscrupulous practices that happened prior to that, where you could have a policy and you could actually pay more in premiums than what the policy, the death value is worth. But you can't do that anymore. See? So if you can't afford to assume the risk on your own, share the risk, man, by buying a policy, man. Paying that monthly premium every month, unless you can put $10,000 away in the bank and don't touch it. See? Yeah, John Gomez, he said, I heard that too about Medicaid. Yeah, but that's a slow moving train, guys. I wouldn't even get excited about that, because not only does America got to pass it, but then the Philippines has to pass it. Douglas Mack said, not sure if other countries do this, but my mom arranged for her body to be donated to science, like a medical laboratory to be experimented on. Yeah, I don't even know if they do that anymore. I know my father, he was a character, man, and he was a preacher. Years ago, before he died, he sold his body to science. You used to could do that. He sold it to the University of Cincinnati. Well, hell, they didn't get his body. He died in the VA hospital, and we buried him in the VA cemetery in Lebanon, Kentucky. Hey, a girly man, thanks for that super chat. He said, I truly appreciate the nitty gritty, Cal. Waiting for my early retirement 2025. Man, I'm with you, man. I'm taking early Social Security if I'm blessed enough to live that long, man. Ace XXX777 says, what's the best big little city to party, like casinos and boxing matches, horse races, etc.? They still have cockfights there. If you want all of that, you're probably going to have to go to Cebu. It's not as congested as Manila, but it's bigger. It's actually bigger than Manila. Manila's small, for real. It just has a lot of people. But yeah, you have to go to Cebu for all of that, and you're going to get big casinos, boxing races. Now, I don't know about horse racing. Cockfights, yeah. Albert Young says, I thought it was Medicare, not Medicaid. That's what I thought, too. I didn't say anything. But that's a slow-moving train, guys. I wouldn't get hyped up about that. I really wouldn't. Harold Kemp, thanks for that super chat. He said, let's all reimburse Calvin for the $100 he gave to the scammer so he can use it to help somebody who needs it. Thank you, Harold Kemp, for that consideration, man. But no, it's not needed, man. I'll get that back. Trust me. I believe in the law of compensation. He's going to pay more. It's going to cost him more than $100, man. It just really hurt my heart. I'm like, damn, man, you over here playing them kind of games 8,000 miles away, man. It's a trip, man. I ain't gonna lie. I love that John says I'm thinking about donating my body to science fiction, like Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, Des is Hangout Haven. I'm really digging your content here lately on your live stream. See, you're giving the nitty gritty now, and I've gotten some of my viewers. They email me. They say, "Hey, you check out Des. Hey, Hangout Haven. She's talking about this. She's talking about that. Keep it up, and your channel's going to grow. It's going to grow anyway. But you keep talking about that type of stuff, and you're really going to be. I like your channel. I like the way you give the Filipino nitty gritty. Oh, okay, Frank Ellis. Frank Ellis said it's Medicaid. He said, I work for Social Security. Well, hell, who's going to qualify for Medicaid over here, Frank? If you're on Medicaid, you probably shouldn't even be coming to the Philippines trying to live because, man, that threshold is low now. Unless you're talking about Obamacare or something like that. Yeah, Cal Deadman, you got to go check her out. I think one of her subjects was does size matter? And she said it did. She said she likes them big. Now, I didn't say that, Lynn. Your sister said that, okay? Des is Hangout Haven. But thanks, Lynn, San Diego 102. Glad to see you back. She said, Calvin, you almost have 20,000. Congrats. I appreciate it because of people like you, people like my viewers. I mean, I remind y'all every single week. Without y'all, I'm nothing. I promise you. I'm just speaking out into the universe like I was down in Zamboanga City. I had 359 subscribers, and none of them were mine. They were my daughter's subscribers. This was actually her YouTube channel in my name. I was trying to promote her music career. You go on there, you'll see she's very talented, man, but I wasn't Joe Jackson, man. I should have been. Okay? And maybe, I'm on Easy Street now because that was 2014. She had it was called High School Love. It was I'm talking about a big regional hit down in Louisville, Kentucky. Because at that time, Justin Bieber was making his transition to adult music and there was nobody there. So I had a guy, I hired some people to write her a song. I took an old Spinner song, Could It Be I'm Falling in Love? I took the hook, took it to this engineer. His name is Ricky Wigington Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky. He's a genius, really. And man, he created a beat behind it and he hid the loop because they never copyright it or anything. I've got the copyright on it. And it was a big regional hit. It was so big that I had record companies from LA, Nashville, and Atlanta wanting to sign my daughter, but she didn't want to. She wasn't ready. AC King said, I remember the old street insurance. Yeah, insurance that they used to sell to poor rural country folks in the 50s and 60s. you pay for years, and when you die, it wasn't good enough to bury you. Yeah. See, we can't do that anymore. And that's why I see insurance. I had no idea just the wretched reputation insurance had when I became an agent. Had I known, I probably would have never became an insurance agent, but it's so much better now, man. I mean, really. And that's what I went out of my way to let people know, this is legit. You can depend on me. You can depend on the companies. I just represent just any company, man. Believe it or not. I mean it. But yeah, check out Dez's Hangout Haven, guys. Let's encourage these Filipinos and support their channels because they can really give you some information from the heart. I can't give you. I'm giving you my boots on the ground experiences, but they were born and bred here. If we can encourage them, if we can bring it out of them for them to talk about it, Hey, B King Motor Vlog, he said, good morning, sunshine from South Carolina. Me and my Filipino wife enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Whenever Filipinos tell me that they enjoy my content, man, it's really a big compliment to me because a lot of Filipinos, they misinterpret what I'm saying, and they really can't appreciate that I'm promoting the Philippines. No one promotes the Philippines more than me, I promise you. Roy Jones said, you're the Barry Gordy of Kentucky. No, but man, I had a daughter, I promise you, man. She was there at 16 years old. But, by that time, she started getting into boys. She listened to her friends more than me because I lost a lot of money, man, investing in her career. And she just one day just up and told me, Daddy, I don't want to do it no more because you got to realize 7 years ago, man, it was $60 an hour to go in that studio. And you can't be messing around in those studios, man. $60 an hour, that's a lot of money, man. For somebody like me at that time, I've got 4 daughters I'm taking care of, a wife, and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of money. Lynn, San Diego 102 said, Calvin, what you doing to celebrate 20,000? I'm going to give back to my Filipino subscribers. We're going to give away 10,000 pesos. I am, right out of my pocket. I'm going to spin my wheel 10 times. I'm going to give 10 of my subscribers 1,000 pesos each in celebration of 20,000. But me and my family, we're going to buy a lechon because it's a big deal, guys, really. Hey, Archipelago, I like that. He says at Sunshine Show, congratulations on being so popular. Thanks for the great content. Thank you. Well, I don't know about the popular part, but I appreciate the compliment. That can be good and bad over here. Okay, Michael Onstad says the most important consideration when buying insurance is customer claims experience. It's a minefield in the Philippines. Oh, yeah. Now, see, this is what we need you for, Michael, to help us to navigate these minefields. Who's the best over here? You dirty puppy said, I watched a video of Calvin rescuing a dog about a decade ago. Was that me? Touched my heart. Yeah, Michael, that would be a good one. Hey, Mr. Chip, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Let me see. There's something else I wanted to bring up. And for y'all who are just joining me, there's a new scam that the Bureau of Immigration says to look out for when you arrive in the Philippines, because it's going to open up. And see, because this place has been shut down for so long and the struggles that people are going to go through, there's going to be all types of scams. And they're all going to revolve around immigration. People saying, oh, we can get you in here. Let me help you get through the immigration faster and they charge you immigration fee. I want to remind you that the Bureau of Immigration does not charge immigration assistance fees, only the fee. Okay? But there's all kind of scams that's going to come up, guys. Be on the lookout for that. Caveman C says have some good backup money put aside. And that's for people who are good savers and who are great earners, and who can assume that risk on their own. Most of us, we cannot put 10,000 up, 15,000 up and don't touch it. You know, so we have to share that risk. And the best way to share the risk is to get you a policy, man, you know, especially when you're young. Go ahead and take care of that. Yeah, Des is hanging out. Haven said, there was one time I misunderstood Calvin, but I have to continue listening to him. I don't recommend a Western man should listen to another one if the latter hasn't been exposed to the fields for a long time. Yeah, because I'll tell anybody, I'm not an expert, I'm not a know-it-all. I'm just giving you my 12 years of boots on the ground experience, my perspective, so you don't get blindsided over here. And the little that I have learned to try to help you get over a lot of the myths, a lot of the lies surrounding the Philippines, because you will be shocked how little Western world knows about the Philippines. Here's the only two things basically they know. Bar scene, you know, with the bar girl, Angeles City and like that, and poverty. That's it. There's so much more to the Philippines, and that's what I want people to know. You know, hey, Mr. G said, Kumasta from Temecula, California. All right, brother. First time I ever heard of that. Paul Smith says, do you believe in annuities from insurance companies? I do, and not because I'm in an insurance, but because as we get older, we don't earn as much. We're getting, you know, I'm saying, you know, the majority of people, as you get older, you don't want to risk your money, take the risk when you were younger. So you want to, you know, diversify your portfolio. You don't want to have, you know, if you're 20, 30 years old and you got all your stuff in high risk bonds and different things like that, and something goes belly up, well, hell, you got 30 something more years to try to recoup, you know, your losses. But if you 50, 55, 60, you got to start slowing it down a little bit. And annuities is just a way to be a little bit more safer. No, you're not going to get the big winnings if, you know, if the stock goes up, but there's some guarantees there that you're not going to lose any of your investments too. So yeah, I believe in annuities along with some more things, you know, mutual funds and different things like that. Diversify a little bit more. Hey, Eric, thanks for joining us. But yeah, watch out for these scams. You know, I got scammed yesterday trying to help an American, but when you help people like I do, and Cal Dedman said this, but I knew it anyway. That's going to happen. One is going to slip through the cracks on you. And that's what happened to me last night. It just hurt me that it was a fellow American, and it was really, I'm an easy target, man. You know, my heart went out to him, the little story he gave me. I shot him 100 PayPal, you know, and come to find out he's full of shit, man. I'm going to just say it. I'm sorry for my language, to be honest with you. Robert Sanford says, I like that Patreon video in the mountains. Yeah, well, I did an extended one for Patreon where I showed the food and everything like that. It's so windy up there, man. And sometimes I'm about to get me something. I wonder if it's something that I could use to cover this so it won't get so blustery and you can hear it through my phone. Philip Lobaton says, what do you think of cryptocurrency? Well, I don't know enough about it really to say one way or the other. I'm too old to try to start learning. It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I was just reading something where Bitcoin just hit a bottom again. You dirty puppy said I'm an easy target too. Yeah, Cal Dibman, but he says running by me the next time. I'm not stupid, guys, okay? But I have compassion for people. And the minute he said, hey, I'm stranded over here, I'm trying to get home, the first red flag was I said, well, how much you need? Here's what he said. I can get a ticket for $700. But, just went through the ether a little bit around me. I was just trying to hear his story. But when it got down to the nitty gritty and I started vetting him, that's when all the flashing red lights and everything like that went off. And I said, oh, this guy is, and then his Filipino woman, you can tell because the correspondence was broken English all through the thing. Then both of their Facebooks is locked. And I said, why is your Facebook locked up? People are chasing me and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm like, man. John Gomez said a coworker, man, retired 4 years ago. His 401 was a total of $800,000. Yeah, that's good, but now you see what happened to a lot of people, especially what was that in Houston, Texas? Since I've got a lot of Houston, Texas viewers and subscribers, what was the name of that company that stole everybody? Well, there's a couple of companies back in the early 2000s that were stealing people's 401ks. One of them was Tyco, and then the other one was, what was the other one? Where one man had $1 million, he was about ready to retire, and it was worth $1,000 where they were cooking the books. Come on, somebody help me, man. Clayton Murray said, I didn't hear your story about the $100, but I got the gist. Yeah, I got a call last night from an American claiming he was stranded here trying to get home. But the problem was he's trying to hustle over here, guys. And it really hurt me, man, because I was an easy target for that one. And he got me good. But, well, MCI World Count was one. But what Lynn San Diego 1-2 said Trump University. Yeah, Enron, Jason Will, thank you. Enron, see, and that's what turned a lot of people away from these 401ks, and then they start transferring the money to IRA, Roth accounts, different things like that. So, you just have to be careful with your finance. You have to have the 401k is the way to go if you got it on your job. I mean, that's free money, guys. Come on. If you're not taking advantage of your 401k, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't care if you just started that. Because most of them are going to match up to 6%, man. That's free money. And then, okay, when I was with WellCare, which is comprehensive health management, but they've been sold to Centene, I believe. Man, after, okay, they vested you in percentages. After 1 year, it was 33%. After 2 years, 66%. And then after 3 years, you were fully vested, man. All that money is yours. And it was just free money, man. I took advantage of it. Hey, Anwar Kente says, good day, Calvin. Sorry I'm late. Karaoke ran long. That's okay, brother. I appreciate you joining me. You dirty puppy says, work hard in 401k. Yeah. And Miss MS Jody says, stole all that money. They did. Enron. But yeah, that 401k, if you have that on your job, man, you'll be stupid not to take advantage of that, man. John Gomez said, my company still match 100%. Wow. Now, see, that is one thing about America that I love. Yeah, I love the China. He said my employer started matching 401k in 2012 and taking advantage of it ever since because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, that money adds up really, really fast. You'll look up after 3 or 4 or 5 years, man, you have 40, 50,000 in there. Believe it or not, Curtis Baton says I've done my 401, is it 401 or 410k up to 30%, and I'm thinking about taking it to 50%. I would do the max if I'm single and don't, have a lot of dependents and responsibilities. I would. Yeah, Jacob Tanjay said 401k is a must. Yeah, it's free money, guys. Ron Bizzle said Roth 401. You dirty puppy said, yeah, cash out anytime. Yeah, once you get vested, and then you can take loans. You can pay your, because that's what I used to do all the time. If I was going on vacation or something like that, I'd take out a loan, man, and then pay myself back the interest. That's all it is. Justin Riggins says, a wise man says, when you help others, you help yourself. Doesn't matter if you got scammed when your heart's in the right place, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right, Justin. See, that's why I said I'm not worried about it. My girlfriend, she's upset. I said, well, it's going to cost him a whole lot more than 100. I'm not worried about that. I knew I did that, and I would do it again. TJ Johnson said, I used to dump into that with reckless abandon. I took advantage of my 401 when I was working, for the man every night and day. And I never lost a minute of sleep, worrying about the way things might have been. When I was working for the man, I took advantage of the 401k. But then when I became independent sole proprietorship, I put it in a Roth. Cornelius Mack said, hey, Calvin, what insurance should your significant other have over there? Make sure, guys, if you got a girlfriend or wife over here, that she's got field health. Period, man. I'm going to tell you, that's what makes me so mad about my son, my second son's mother. She did not have field health, man. When you have a baby over here, it's going to cost you very, very little. Or if she goes into the hospital, right before she had our baby, she had to go in the hospital for 4 days. And 4 nights. The room and board, the nurses, the doctors, the medications, everything, the food, everything was 16,000. I had to pay 8,000 pesos for 4 days in hospital. Had she not had field health, there's no telling how much I would have paid. Make sure of that. At least have that. Because funerals over here are cheap, really. A Filipino funeral was about 15 to 20,000 pesos, guys. That's about $300 to $400. But make sure, if you're going to send us some money over here, make sure it's for something like field health or something like that, because she can easily show you the receipt where it's being paid. Hey, Mayan Buntag, American Inn Express. Yeah, Jacob Tanjay, Proud Mary is a great song, man. Yeah, Tina Turner, and I watched that story, and even though, it was biased against Ike Turner, because I read the story of Ike Turner, he was a musical genius. And I'm not saying, I really don't know him personally, so I only know what they told me about him and Tina's situation. But aside from that, he was a musical genius, man. He was when he was young, like 10 years old, he was a musical savant. Ike Turner was. He was a bad boy. All of those guys that, when the Beatles and all them guys used to come to America, guess who's the first one they want to see? Ike Turner, man. They were big fans of his, man. He was no joke. Believe it or not. Yeah, TJ Johnson said, CCR Tina Turner's a dang good song. Yeah. Ace XXX777 says, no honey, no money. Yeah, man. Everybody knows the unspoken agreement, believe it or not. Uh, yeah, Paul Smith, he said Ike was a cokehead, but a musical genius, and without whom Tino would still be in the sticks of Tennessee. Yeah, you know, but the bottom line is they always want to, kick people under the curb. I don't really know these people personally. And if you're just going by what you're reading in the media and stuff, man, now I've gotten older, man. Half that stuff is, it's like heard it through the grapevine. Believe half of what you see, some or none of what you hear, man. I don't buy a lot of that stuff, man. Believe it or not. Hey, Rory Bacon, he said, thank you for the real deal boots on the ground. Great info, real info. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm just giving it to you from the way I'm seeing it through my glasses. When you get over here, you're probably more than likely going to see something else, but I don't want you to be blindsided. Hey, Robert Sanford, thanks for that super chat. He said, how was that meal you tried up there in the mountains? I want to go there. I'll tell you, the food was surprisingly delicious. That's, when you saw you watched the video where I showed you the menu, right? That pork sisig was only 85 pesos. It comes with the sisig and the rice. It was only 85 pesos. Man, I was shocked how good it was. And then those shawarmas, they're sort of like the Philippine version of what's that Greek, thing that everybody loves, man, with the lamb meat, the the lettuce, tomatoes, then that sauce. It's in that type of Greek bread. What's that called, guys? I can't even think it. But it's their version of that, man. It's delicious. And that was only, I think, 60 pesos. Euro. Yeah. Luis Martinez. Thank you, guys. And Doug Carr, Smoky Mountain. When I lived in Cincinnati, man, they had a little place, man, up the street, man. It had the best Euro, man. See, I was drinking and smoking weed back then. And, man, you get high, man. You eat that thing, man. I tell you, make you bite your fingers. Yeah, I love that pita bread. Yeah, Lynn, San Diego 102. I would eat one every day. Main Time says, hey, Calvin, what can 20,000 get you up there in the mountains? It can get you 20,000 US or 20,000 pesos, because it's 1,000 pesos per square foot. So if you're talking about $20,000, man, that's a nice big spread. You're talking about, let's see, if you get, now the engineer bought a 700 square meters, so that's 700,000. That's about $14,000. So you're talking maybe about 1,000 square meters, man. That's a big lot. That's for sure. Yeah, I love LaChon. I just posted that extended one on my Patreon. It's got the food and everything. Hey, Hollywood baby, my favorite fireman from Atlanta, man. I hope everything's going okay with you there, man. Smoky Mountain Marla says the Mad Greek in Cleveland had a hell of a Euro. I didn't start eating Euros, so I moved to Cincinnati. They've got them in Louisville now, but back in the 80s, they didn't have them. Hey, Zorba Dundee. Appreciate you stopping by today. John Gomez says the meat and Euro lamb. I think it is. What is that meat? They say it's lamb now. Yeah, Edward Lawler said Enron stole cash from everybody. Yeah, that's when they start cracking down on these guys. But you know the guy that was over Tyco that spent $1 million on his wife's 40th birthday party, he's out of prison now. That shows you how long ago that was. He's out of prison. They gave him 25 years. He did 20 years, in feds. Lynn San Diego 102 says it's lamb. Yeah. Yeah, Greek meat, bro. Whatever that is. But it's good, man. I mean, it's delicious if you've ever had it. A girly man said, y'all making me hungry. But yeah, they got a shawarma here. But I tell you, they're better in Zamboanga. I don't know why, because in the Philippines, as you go around, you're going to see everybody makes that kind of stuff different. Ingram Davis says, stop talking about food. See, the Philippines gets a bad rap on their food, man. They got some good food over here. And it depends on who's cooking it. Man, I tell you what, because my first Filipino girlfriend over here, my first live-in girlfriend, that the mother of my son, she could not boil an egg. And she used to get mad at me, man, because she was a beautiful woman, but she could not cook and could not boil an egg. And she'd get mad at me, man, because she'd go in there and cook up some really slop, what it looked like. I couldn't eat it, man. Oh, she'd get pissed off. Hey, True King Gaming, he says in Zamboanga, say, it is, man. It has some history. Now, it had that siege in 2013, and they had a few spats before that, but nothing after that. But I've never had any problems there. The people are just super, super nice. But there's two words you cannot say in Zamboanga, and that's Abu Sayyaf. I'm thinking about making a video on that, not about the Abu Sayyaf, but about, don't ever say that word, man. I wouldn't even say it anywhere in the Philippines, because especially there, I mean, they whisper that word. And, the first time somebody told me about it, they said, don't ever say that, because you don't know, they could be sitting right next to you, because, you don't know the good guys from the bad guys here. But don't ever say Abu Sayyaf. So just to be safe, don't say it anywhere when you come over to the Philippines. That's two words you don't want to say, guys. I tell you what, John just said his electric bill was $6,800. His house a lot smaller than mine, and mine was $5,400. This money was $5,000. It's shot up, way up, and that's the truth. Lynn San Diego 102 said, "Can you say it in Luzon?" I wouldn't say it anywhere because you don't know where they are. Main Time said, "Hey, brother, is it possible for a single man to build a house there without having a wife or their 20, 30-year type leases?" Yeah, you can lease the land and build a house. Yeah, you don't have to have a girlfriend. And there's certain ways you can get around it. When we went to Sapalai, not Sapaway, but Sapalai, that beach resort we stayed in, it was actually owned by a corporation owned by French and German people. I used to think that you had to be a 60-40 Filipino, but the manager told me no. James Lyon says, "What does Abu Sayyaf mean, Calvin?" That's the terrorist group that's renowned for kidnapping and beheading foreigners here. And they mostly, their hangout, their hideout is down in that Sulu Sea, Baziland, Holo Sulu, around that area, up in them mountains. Beautiful place, but dangerous. Rods Roland said, "My condo electric Makati was $7,000. Yeah, the electricity is so very expensive here. And that's one thing about moving up in the mountains. It's going to save you on some electric bill because you can run that solar up there. And I'm even going to look into it for this house we're building, because when we went in the mountains Saturday, a couple, they had one solar panel was running their little storage shed that they had their turkeys in, all their supplies and different things like that. It was one solar panel. And the lady said, "Yeah, we only have one to run that, but eventually it's going to run everything up here." Liz San Diego 102 says it's unspoiled territory because the tourists and most Filipinos don't vacation there due to the rebels. Yeah, the pristine beaches down in Tawi Tawi and those places like that. I mean, some of the, you never see them on the best of list because you can't go down there and, Now, Filipinos do go down there. And you can go on YouTube and see some great videos on Tawi. You see how clean and pristine those beaches are. And it'll shock you, but it's like she said, because no one goes down there. Ty Johnson said Cincinnati had Gold Star Chilling. And I love Gold Star Chilling until this one incident. One of my best friends that I ever had in my whole life, his name was Vic Maney, and I'll leave it at that. He was a big football star at Western Hills High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, he started working for Gold Star Chilling as a dishwasher. His first or second day, he drops a tray of dishes, and they all shatter, break up. And the manager says, "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll be okay." Well, when he got his paycheck, they took out for those dishes. I think his paycheck was like $4 or $5. So what he did was, when nobody was looking, this is long before CCTV and all that, he peed in a whole vat of Gold Star Chilling, stirred it up, and served it hot to the clients, man. And I've never eaten there since. And that's a true story. It's not a new story, but it's a true story. Yeah, he peed in a whole vat of that chili, stirred it up, and that was his revenge. Yeah. Leanne says she grew up with the government painting those places as dangerous due to rebels, so the fear lingers in my mind. But it's a lot of Filipinos that live there. And remember, they're Filipinos first, but Zamboanga safe. I've never had any problems. It's safe for me. I'll put it like that. The people treated me. I mean, that's where I started Sunshine Shoulders, but years before I even thought about Sunshine Shoulders, I mean, they rolled out the red carpet for me. I didn't even know. Filipinos scared me because I never know the history of Zamboanga, Mindanao, anything like that. See, they told me I should be scared, and I got scared down there. But after that, I wasn't scared anymore, but I never stay in hotels there because there's a rebel tax. Now, my girlfriend's mother told me that down there. She said, do not stay in hotels. And right after that, I promise you, maybe a week after that, she told me there was a bomb went off in a hotel, and it happens a lot because they don't pay the rebel tax. And see, when I told y'all guys about, hey, man, don't come over and open up a brick and mortar business, it could cause you problems. It was based on my experience in Zamboanga, man. You can't do that kind of stuff, guys. It rubs some people the wrong way. But yeah, Zorba Dundee said you have Instagram, Cal. I don't. I really don't know a whole lot about this social media for real. Yeah, you dirty puppy, you're right. I'm not going to address that really. He asked me what Zamboanga, and I kind of got off track. But yeah, it is really. They're not going to bother you. Filipinos are just, if you go to the wrong place, though, you're going to get your head busted. But in the city of Zamboanga, it has a bad reputation because, remember, the media head is there. So whenever you see a subject on Tawi, Holo Sulu, or anything on the Sulu Sea, the subject line is going to say Zamboanga, even though it doesn't happen in Zamboanga. So it gets a bad rep. A girly man said, what are the best banks in the Philippines? I use PNB, Philippine National Bank, but there's BPI, Bank of Philippine Islands, BDO, I forgot what that stands for, and Metro Bank. I think those are the big four here. Now, the locals, they'll use Land Bank and then DNP Bank. Hey, Mel A says, hey, Mr. Calvin. Yes, I'm security cat of Mindanao, especially Zamboanga. My computer going bye-bye. I can't get the video. Yeah, there's no reason, though. You see a lot of U.S. military, foreign military down there, and then when they take off their clothes, they got to walk around like everybody else. They're not going to bother you, man, but now if you were there in 2013, maybe you would have had some problems. A girly man said, have you had any problems with the banks? No, they ask a lot of questions though. Now, okay, I'm building my house. Okay, so I had to give 1/3 of the money up front. So that means I had to transfer some money from my account to this account and take it out. Well, if you take out over $1,000 here, you have to get it approved through the manager. And then she wanted to see my insurance license. She wanted to see where I was getting this money from. And, that's about it. It wasn't nothing because, I wasn't hiding anything. Everything's transparent with me. So I gave him a copy of my insurance license, and then I gave them a copy of to show my deposits were coming from Humana, Anthem, and WellCare. And it's okay now. But yeah, that's basically, you're not going to have any problems. Now, when I came here, 2009, there was a run on banks here. I don't know why. It reminded me of the 80s. A lot of people. See, I just now opened up a bank account in 2021 here. I never had a bank account here because I didn't trust them, because when I came here, every day on the news, a bank was closing and people were crying. The lines were long, man. I mean, really, it was sad, man. Dirty Puppy says, do not trust ATMs, absolutely. Especially if you're in Cebu, Manila, any of these tourist places, because they've got this gang of Eastern European gypsies. This is the name that's in the media here. I'm not making that up. They are skimming these ATMs in these tourist areas, and they're so good at it. I mean, by the time the Philippines called on, it was really too late. They had really just destroyed some people's bank accounts. But like a lot of criminals, they got greedy. Okay. And they caught one guy in Cebu. I think he was somewhere around Argyle. He was just going up and down the coast. When they caught him, he had something like 390,000 pesos. I mean, that's a lot of money over here. I mean, he just had that in a matter of hours, but they had been watching him anyway. So they waited to, they had enough, and then they caught him. He got greedy. Hey, guys, let's hit the thumbs up. It's 224 and 137. Y'all know that helps me. But, yeah, I trust the banks here now, the good ones. But you Dirty Puppy said it earlier. He said cash is king here. I got one credit card that I use over here. It's my Capital One. It has a $500 limit. I use it at the grocery store, at the bank. At the mall. That's it. Because most of these places around here I go to, they want cash. You go to the market, cash. Most of these places. Zorba Dundee says, so how do you take money out if you shouldn't use ATMs? Just if you don't have an account over here, if you're over here on vacation, bring money with you, or send it Western Union or something, because it's going to be cheaper than an ATM, man. And if you're going to use an ATM, go inside a bank, go inside a mall. Don't do the ones you see outside. Those are the ones that you have to be real careful of. Lynn San Diego 1-2 said you only have 3 thumbs down today. That's because the haters, they probably sleep. Now, when I wake up in the morning, it'll be a bunch. I had one on my, believe it or not, I get thumbs down. I don't care. It don't bother me, but it's funny. It is. Yeah, Jason Will said use ATM in the mall is fine. Yeah, ATMs and banks, where somebody's always watching. But those ones that you see on the street, man, stay away from them. And then they're expensive anywhere you use them. In my case, Fifth Third Bank, my account in Fifth Third Bank, that's what my debit card is. If I use it over here with the fees over here, because I don't care if you got a Charles Schwab account or not, the Filipino bank is going to take 200 pesos from you. Now, their fees they might not take, but the Filipino charges you 200 pesos per transaction. Then my bank is going to charge me 200, a little bit over 200 pesos. And then they charge this international fee. So, man, it's almost $15 every time I use one, so I don't use it. Hey, TJ Johnson, thanks for that super chat. He said, worth mentioning that even larger stores that aren't major national chains, SM, Robinson's, Casano, offer cash discounts versus the price on the tag. Yeah, you can ask them. Sometimes they like, is that the last price? Like when we bought the wash machine, the air condition. Because remember, I use the 300 rule over here. I'm in the Philippines. Nothing in my house costs more than $300. That's my 300 rule I came up with. Why? I'm over in the Philippines. I don't need to spend that kind of money on stuff. But you can still get name brand stuff. But you can go in there and you can say, hey, is this the last price? And then they'll go back and ask the manager. And a lot of times they'll come back and they may knock at the house and off or something. But I never saw that pre-pandemic. I see it now. AC King says, does anybody still use traveler's checks like the old American Express? I haven't seen that, to be honest with you. You Dirty Puppy said the max in the ATMs is 10,000 pesos, or about 200 US, but BPI allows you to do 20, okay, per day. Yeah, Mel A says carrying just under 10,000 overseas is a pain when you travel. Yeah, you don't want. If you come to the Philippines, you don't have to have that much. I wouldn't carry that much in cash with me. You know, I think the most I've ever had in cash coming over is about 4,000, and it was all in $100 bills. And it went straight to my hotel when I got here. Hey, Philippines, my paradise, Ned. Thanks for stopping by again. That's my mentor and YouTube brother, Ned. He's the flip side of the nitty gritty. He's going to give you good information, but it's more of a scholarly type information. He's got drones and all that fancy stuff, but the information is no less credible. It's no less valuable. He's got great information, guys. Check him out. Philippines, my paradise. Yeah, Cal, he said I never bring over 100 cash, but I do because I know that I've got that damn ATM machine prior to me getting a bank account. So I always carry cash with me because, you know, who wants to pay that $15 every time you go? Sam McCall says, I opened up a BPI account in 2009, have Wells Fargo in the USA. I do online transfer to BPI about $4 per express send transfer. Positive to BPI in less than 1 hour. Wow. Use the BPI ATM card to get the money. So do they charge you an ATM fee, Sam, or not? You Dirty Puppy says the best advice this chat is received and no one noticed. What is it? Oh, okay. Sam McCall says no fee if using the BPI, man. That's great. Oh, okay. You Dirty Puppy says I bring at least 2 ounces of gold. Really? You Dirty Puppy? You actually bring 2 ounces of gold? Okay, Jim Jimenez, thank you. He said BDO is Banco de Oro. I think U.S. citizens need to provide their Social Security to open up a field account as they don't want to run afoul with U.S. financial regulators, anti-money laundering. Yeah, they do all of that. You fill out a W-9 because, believe it or not, in my account, man, I got a $15 interest on my 15, with 600 pesos. I was shocked the other day because these banks over here actually pay good interest, man. That's one thing they do. Okay, you dirty puppy. He said, yeah, he brings 2 ounces of gold. Oh, yeah, Mr. Chip says if you are staying at a hotel, make sure to monitor while on vacation. My hotel accidentally charged me for 3 weeks by accident. I always pay my hotel up front. I never, because see, they'll let you do that here. Same with running up a bill. Let me pay my bill when I get done eating. Give me my bill. Let me pay for the coat. I don't want it adding up because that's when the problems start. Pay as you go, man. I wouldn't, because they'll let you do it over here, but then you might get a surprise. Hey, and I want to send my deepest condolences again out to those Army and personnel and the people on that C-130 that went down July the 2nd in the mountains of Holo Sulu. Now it's up to 53 people died. Man. A lot of the best and brightest in the Philippines, man, died in that crash, guys. Mr. Chip said I was only there for a week. Yeah. I would have paid up front, man. That's just me. I go online. If I'm going to do Airbnb, if I'm going to do hotel, I just go and pay for it. Because I don't want them fooling with me, with my money. Mel A says, what is the maximum you can receive money via transfer or whatever while in Philippines? My bank has a limit of $5,000 that I can send every day. That's my limit. But every bank has its own different rules. But what's going to happen? They hit you on the front and the back. Now, the transfer, you just get hit with a small exchange rate, like a quarter of a peso. But they do charge you for that bank transfer. Justin Riggin said, do hotels have safes? A lot of them do. Remember when I went to Lackawanna Island? They have a safe. But it's just, I'm just kind of leery of them things even working. Just lock it. Bring a lock and key for your luggage, man, and keep it in there is what I would do. They can't get in there then. And I'm going to tell you something about the Philippines. One thing I do like about them is CCTV everywhere. A lot of these thieves and stuff, man, they catch them so quick, especially in these hotels, because it happens a lot. And they'll end up catching the lady or the man. Yeah, Philippines, my paradise. God rest their souls. Yeah. One retired general, his daughter, she was a lieutenant. She was a nurse. And she was a substitute on the flight. She wasn't even supposed to have went, but the woman, the nurse who was supposed to go, her child got sick. So she took her place. But the father in the article in Manila Times, he said the day before they left, the daughter was telling him there was a problem with the flight. And he said, don't get on the plane. And she got on it anyway, man. She perished. I think she was very young. John Juke said, what's so good about Baguio City? The weather. And then, it's cooler up there in those mountains, a lot cooler. There's a lot of Americans live up there. A lot of foreigners live up there. So you're going to be able to access a lot of things, especially in the stores that you can't access in a regular Filipino city. Carlos Martinez said, Dogecoin to the moon. Oh, yeah. Well, see, I envy you guys, man. I don't know anything about that. Bitcoin and stuff. That you dirty puppy says, so when you give your beautiful ensemble 2 ounces of gold, she will pawn it when needed. Oh, okay, yeah. I did a video on, it's called Filipinos Are Expensive. And I tell you my experience about when you buy them an engagement ring, I think I spent like $23,000 on it or something. You know, being stupid, I didn't know any better. Hell, within a week, it was already pawned for $5,000. I got it out one time. She took it back. It stayed in there. So I say, you know, if you're gonna do it, guys, I learned my lesson. The next time we went to the silver place, and I bought a nice silver ring with cubic zirconia, and it was $50, and it was the best thing she ever had. And she was so happy about it. Never complained. Treated it like it was platinum, gold. I mean platinum. You know. A girly man said, Calvin, what's the worst weather you've experienced in the Philippines? Earthquake. I was in an earthquake when I was staying in Mactan. This would have had been 2012. It was like New Year's Day, New Year's night, 2012. There was a big earthquake in Mactan, Cebu, with aftershocks and everything. But that's about it. You know, you get a lot of hard rain here, but where we live, so I always stayed in Visayas region, Mindanao. You don't get all that hurricanes and stuff. Now you get it in eastern Visayas region around Samar Island, around Tacloban, Lady, that area. But where I stay, and I did that on purpose, and that's why I did a video on that. It looks like Trouble in Paradise. It's one of my older videos. And I say, look, guys, before you decide to settle down in the area, man, research the weather there. Because the weather patterns are different here in the Philippines. There is no one Philippines, guys. I don't care whether you're talking about what the people look like, their language, the weather. There is no one Philippines. Because a lot of people say, oh, the Philippines, I'm not going there. They got earthquakes or they've got typhoons. Well, not all around, you know, so research that. That's very important because you'll get stuck in a place and you'll be sorry you did. A lot of foreigners died in that Tacloban and that Typhoon Yolanda. Yeah, a lot of foreigners died in that, man. Hey, Texas, Zoe, good to see you, man. Yeah, everybody hit that like button, man. Let's see if I got about 7 minutes left on here. Because I'm going to tell you something. The Philippines is spread out. It's diverse, man. It's vast. It's diverse. And that's one thing you're going to learn real quick. There is no one Philippines. That's what I thought when I got here. I thought they had like one, you know. The reason they came up with that national language, Tagalog, is because every island has its own language, its own dialect. So, you know, I promise you, man, I've been places with my girlfriend and even my girlfriends before. We've been to places in the Philippines, they can't understand the people no more than I can. Texas has always said the Val's never had a typhoon. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right. See, it's different. Justin Riggins said, where's the like button on here? I can't see it. That's funny. Hey, Love Beat Muse, thank you for joining us, man. I got to get off here. We got to go over here and meet the engineer. I'll probably do a short video today if he's over there, because I'm going to ask some of those questions. Because I'm going to tell you, you guys are beating me up with this stuff. Y'all got to realize, man, I'm in the Philippines, man. I'm spending $20,000. Some guy asked me this seriously, and he's a good guy. He says, Calvin, do you plan on having a swimming pool and an observatory? I said, man, I'm in the Philippines. Observatory? Really? And all this fancy stuff. Come on, man. Some guy says, oh, man, that's too small. I'd at least have what did he say? 1,000 square foot. Yeah, but hell, that would be bigger than my lot that I bought. You know, y'all got to remember where we are, man. And that's why, you know, we need to talk more about, I think it's what my next live stream is going to be about. Bringing our Western thinking over here, man. We really got a lot to learn about the Philippines. Well, Cal says, what color is my? It's going to be, from where I saw, it's going to be like white, and then like part of it's going to be like I don't know what that yellow part or green part is made of. But I'll show you today. Yeah, man. They're telling me all this fancy stuff about this house over here. I'm like, man, I'm in the Philippines. What are y'all? I said, I came here to escape all of that stuff, man. You know, I'm going to spend this money and be done with it. I mean, man, come on. Imagine. And some guy was telling me he can spend, he can build a house cheap in Hawaii, and he runs the figures down. I'm like, man, that's a fortune over here. To believe it or not. Lynn San Diego 102 says, I think your priority is to make sure the foundation is high enough that you don't get flooded. Yeah, that's about the priority. And to be honest with you. But James Land, not really a minimalist lifestyle, but a simple lifestyle. I don't own a car for a reason. I don't want to bring the rat race over here with me or the hamster wheel. If I start implementing a lot of that stuff, y'all saying, hell, I have to go to work over here. I certainly don't want to do that. A girly man said, Calvin about to get a mansion and a yacht. Not in this lifetime, man. That would be miserable to have that over here. But yeah, I just want a place where I don't have to worry about paying the rent. My little daughter can have a roof over her head, man. That's just what it's all about. Oh, they ban me. You know you can't own land over there. I'm banning this for my daughter, man. I know that I can't do it. But I'm not spending a fortune on a McMansion. That's what this guy said. He said, good to see an American over there, you know, with building a modest house, not some McMansion. And let me tell you this, man, before I get off here. The more money you spend over here, the more likely you're going to run into trouble, man. You got to keep an honest man honest. The preacher, man, Reverend Henry Humphrey. Look it up if you don't believe it. Good preacher in Louisville, Kentucky. The preacher over Shiloh Baptist Church, of which my family was members for years upon years. We had an old school next to the church, and he applied for government money to fix up the old school and turn it into senior housing. Well, they gave him that money, man. It corrupted him. He ended up going to prison for 2 years, got out. When he got out, maybe a few more years. No, not much. He was dead. The stress and all that killed him. The more money that you give these contractors and people over here, man, the more likely you're going to have trouble, man. So 20,000, that's it for me. You know, so that way, you know, I don't have to worry about, man, if I come over and spend 100,000 on the house, I'm going to have problems unless I build it myself. But our preacher was corrupted. They gave him $2 million. He spent it. And the money that the church members had, he spent it. Bought him a Cadillac, his girlfriend, now he was married, bought his girlfriend a Cadillac, went to the casino, spent a lot of money. He was spending the money as if it was his. And the government came after him, man, sent him to prison. He ended up dying. So, you know, you got to be honest, me and honest. I'm not going to give somebody over here $150,000, man. You know, that's when you end up dead playing those kind of games. You heard that from Sunshine Shoulders. That's why I did it. And 20,000 is a lot for her. You think that the woman you come over here to meet, to date, and to marry and take back to your home country, you think that 20,000, $1 million pesos is not a lot on her, then you have a lot to learn. And welcome to my channel, because I'm going to educate you as far as I know. That's a lot of money that she would never, ever been able to accumulate. Okay? Hasn't hit her yet. But once she sees that house start rising up and taking shape, she'd probably break down and cry, man. I get on camera because I'm going to tell you, it's a big, big deal over here. We got to leave our Western thinking over there in a lot of things. But over here, yeah, use it for your common sense and different things like that. But as far as, how much money you need to spend, no, don't do that. Hey, Levon White, thanks for that super chat. He said money doesn't solve your problem. Money solves money problems. Absolutely. And I just couldn't see myself spending all that money. I got a man that I met over here. When I first moved to San Carlos City, him and his wife, he was a Air Force vet, married a Filipino. They lived here for 10 years in San Carlos. They just decided to move back to Jacksonville, Florida. Well, that house is still for sale. 5 or 6 billion pesos they built over here. See, that's the problem. I'm not going to do that, And then eventually, because the Filipino will wait you out. He'll buy that damn thing for 1 million pesos eventually. Hey, thank you, you dirty puppy. You said you're a good man. Man, I'm not a saint. But I've learned, man, over the years. I'm 58, guys, Some things, man, you got to use your common sense, man. And especially over here, man. You start throwing around that kind of money. You see what happened to the brother in Colombia, man. You can't come in these places like that spending that kind of money, man. You're asking for trouble. I'll never blame his death on him, man. But damn, what in the world you going to go Colombia and talk about spending $250,000 in a matter of months on a place? Man, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, Frank Ellis, that house will never sell. Unless another foreigner buys it. But hey, guys, I got to get off here because I got to go over here. I got to take my workers their lunch. I probably buy them lunch every day. I usually buy them bread. We go over to Arby's Bake Shop. Make sure you go to Arby's, ARBEE Bake Shop. It's probably going to be one wherever you go. They got great bread. They got this egg bread. They scramble eggs and then they bake a bun around it, man. It's delicious. It sounds crazy. It's called egg bread. It's delicious. Trust me. I'm going to take them some of that over there and probably 2 Mountain Dews. I do that every day. Yeah. AC King, he said 20,000 is used car money in the U.S. I would much rather have the house. Yeah, absolutely, man. See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about with the Western thinking, AC King. Thanks for that comment. See, we thinking over here, man, 20,000, that ain't nothing for a house. Yeah, that's what you think. They build nice houses for less over here. But yeah, if you're in America, man, it's getting late. And I hope before you let your head hit the pillow that you help somebody, man. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, just getting off second shift, or you on your lunch break, you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's 11-11. See, 11-11 has meaning for me. Thank you. We got the whole rest of the day to intentionally go out and find somebody to help. I don't care if it's a foreigner. I don't care if it's a Filipino. If they need our help, man, and we can help them, let's help them, guys. If I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time. Philip Janik says, old dude in Colombia was flashing cash and promising to take away jobs. That's just not thinking right. And, hey, he made a lot of mistakes. I'll never blame his death on him, though. He was set up. He was killed. But I tell you what, man, don't do it, guys. Be smart. We're getting away from the rat race. Don't bring your problems with you, man. Leave them over there. Take care, man. Thanks, everybody, for your super chats, your super stickers. Thank y'all for this. A lot of views on that part 2 of I Married a Filipino Scammer. I'm going to keep that going, man. I'm going to make that a part of my weekly videos, but I need y'all stories, man, because it helps people, man. People really enjoy hearing those stories. That's something I came up with, man. I think I'm going to keep doing it because y'all like it. If you haven't seen it, check it out, man. It's I Married a Filipino Scammer and other romance horror stories in the Philippines, part 2. Crazy stories, man, but they're true, man, believe it or not. Take care, man. I appreciate y'all.